What is going on, everybody? This is Jay here from Maji and Jay. Today we have the unboxing video and the review of the new Akaso F250A that I got from AmazonPrime.com. This drone goes for about $220, and yes, it is brushless, it's made of carbon fiber and such. But the cool part about this drone is that it's going to provide the true experience of flying a drone that you control all of the time and not a robotic type of drone like we see every single day. We know that drones now, they come with GPS, position hold, headless mode and such, just to make it a lot easier for you to fly. But you're truly not enjoying something that you can control all the time, and it makes you feel like the drone is basically flying by itself. So with this particular one, you will gain that experience again. So I do warn you guys that you must have a very open space for this one, because it is considered a racer type of drone. And yeah, it's pretty hyper, and let me tell you, it is a lot of fun and quite durable as well. So now let's go ahead and take a look here around the box. Other than on the front side having the picture of the drone, we do have the branding and also the model number. If you look here on the side, we're going to find a sketch that pretty much gives us all these specifications of the drone. Again, the body is made of carbon fiber. We do have 4 ESCs, 12 amps. I guess it's one for each individual motor. We also have a monitor, 4.3-inch HD resolution. This is for the FPV transmission. We also got a battery inside of 11.1 volts, 1800 milliamps. It has a flying speed of about 60 miles per hour or 100 kilometers, which is quite fast. It does have a nice wide angle camera. We're going to be talking about that later on in this video. The motors are 2300 kV made by Akaso. And now these are actually generic. They just decided to put the branding on there. I guess it's a rebrand. Now the manufacturer actually recommends that you go no more than 8 or 10 minutes, just so that you don't discharge the battery too much, because it can be dangerous for a LiPo battery. So with this being said, let's go ahead and open here the box and check what we want to see, which is the drone itself. And this box is very awkwardly set up here. So the first divider is going to be for the actual drone and some of the other parts. We do have here some manuals, as you guys can tell. So I'm going to try to do this piece by piece. Let me set this aside. And here is the divider for the drone. We do find the charger, okay, the LiPo charger for the battery itself. We have here some props. They come with spare ones in case you guys break them or something goes wrong. We also got here the 1800 milliamp LiPo battery. This is a 25C, if I forgot to mention it. Now it doesn't have any labels on here, as you can tell. Okay, it does come with some Velcro so that you can hook it up to the frame of the drone so it doesn't fall off. We're going to be talking about that later on. Then we have also some tools right underneath the props. Okay, so I'm going to show you that here right now. We do have a Phillips screwdriver. We also have some Allen drivers here so that we can adjust some of the screws on here, as you guys can tell. Okay, that's very neat by them. We also have the bracket so that we can install the FPV screen on the transmitter. Okay, and then we have 2 antennas. One goes to the FPV transmitter and the other one goes directly on the drone so that you get the best signal ever. And if you look here on this antenna, it is claiming to be 5.8 gigahertz. And the transmitter is 2.4 gigahertz, in case I forgot to mention that. And then finally here we have the main event, which is the drone itself. And it's very tiny, guys. I mean, this thing is probably like about 10 inches by maybe 8 inches. And that's cool because you can, you can fly this almost everywhere, with the exception that it goes very fast. So I would recommend that you fly this maybe at a park, at a place that you have a lot of open space, and not that you have, buildings or houses. And this one does require for you to have some sort of licensing. Okay, it's not considered a toy drone. So on the front side here, we can already see the camera. That's the FPV camera. I believe it's a 2 or 5 megapixel. I will have to confirm that on the description. Here we have the 2300 kV motor. That's the size, the D2204. Supposedly made by Akaso, but I think that, again, these are generic. On the bottom side of the drone, we find here the landing gears. They are made of metal. And then here we can see the entire body. Okay, so on the middle side we have the ESCs, and then on the back side on the top we do have here the little board for the FPV transmission. Okay, this is where your antenna will go connected, and then that's pretty much all we have around the body, guys. So let me go ahead and set this aside and show you the rest. So on the second portion of the box we find the transmitter. This is the 2.4 gigahertz transmitter. It comes with the antenna. Now be careful, guys, this antenna can break very easily. And I think I already snapped it off, but it didn't break. I just put it back on. So you need to be careful because this foam is very tight into the transmitter itself. and here it is. It's quite basic, to be honest with you. I believe that on the upper right hand side corner we have here, one of them is self-balancing mode and the other one is rate mode. I would just keep it on self-balancing mode, as it does use the gyros to give you a better flight experience, especially if you're flying this for the first time ever. We do have here the little switch to turn it on and off. We have the lever so that we can take off and go from side to side, and this is to go forward, backwards, and from left to right. So yes, quite basic here. We do have the trims. Now this right here, guys, I wouldn't recommend that you touch it. It comes calibrated already for this particular drone. Unless you have experience on how to tweak this, I would just leave it alone and not touch it. So on the back, it's going to require 4 AA batteries. Let me go ahead and show you that here. Very standard. I would recommend something like Duracell or Energizer. Our next item here will be the battery for the FPV screen. And at first I was kind of confused on how you charge this thing, and that's because the battery, here the battery cover does open up in half, and then inside you're going to see the little charger for the LiPo type of connector that goes into this charger right here. So you can use this for both of the batteries, and this one should last you for about like at least 4 or 5 flights at the most, and then you will have to recharge it again. As you can see, it comes with a Velcro because it goes on the back side of the remote controller. So now let's go ahead and take a look here at the FPV monitor. This is a 4.3 inch HD, as I said before. We got the battery connector and the antenna will go connected here on the back side. And then finally we have here some sort of power cord. I'm assuming that this is for the charger and stuff, and that's all we're going to find inside of the box. So let's go ahead and get this thing assembled. So first things first, let's go ahead and get started by installing everything on the transmitter, and that's going to be here the FPV screen together with the bracket and also the battery. You're going to need this Phillips screwdriver, and that's pretty much it. So here we go. Okay, so now we got the transmitter all set to go. Just keep in mind that you must tighten this little bracket very tightly, because it might move all over the place and you don't want that to happen while you're flying. It's going to be a distraction. Then on the back, you will just install the screw, connect the battery here on the back side with the Velcro, plug it in, and you're all set to go. Don't forget the 4 AA batteries. Again, I do recommend high quality batteries because it's going to give you, the best performance out there and the best signal possible. And that's all we have to do with the transmitter. Now let's get the drone ready. Here we go. I would just recommend that you guys give it a quick spin before you install the prop, so that way you know which one goes counterclockwise and which one goes clockwise, because the instructions doesn't say, neither the motors here or the blade. So these are non-marked, so you need to figure that out yourself. What I did is I just went ahead and paired with the remote controller here. I turned it on, and as you guys can tell, this one is spinning counterclockwise and this one is clockwise. So that's how I know exactly how my props go installed. Make sure that you use this little tool to tighten up all the bolts, and this is the smallest Allen driver, and you basically put it inside of this little hole, hold the motor with your hand and tighten it up, and that's it. Now with all the props installed, don't forget your FPV antenna that goes on the back side of the little drone. Make sure that it is very tight, because this thing is going to be moving all over the place at a very fast speed, so you don't want it to come loose. And voila. Hook up the battery with the Velcro side facing down and the connector facing towards the back side. Now hook it up with the strap. And we are set to go. So now that we got this thing fully assembled, our next step here will be to test the FPV transmission between the camera and the actual screen on the remote controller. So as you guys can see, I already connected the battery on the back side. Very simple. Make sure that you charge it completely so that you get the best usage out of it. Then quickly after this, you turn on your transmitter. Make sure that you always turn on the transmitter, otherwise this thing is going to start flying by itself, literally. And then you connect the battery, okay? And quickly after this, you see the transmission going on your FPV screen here, so you guys can see the camera is actually a pretty nice quality. It's also very clear and it doesn't lag whatsoever. Everything is super fast, something that makes this drone quite different from the competitors. This is actually the best FPV transmission that I've seen in quite a long time, even better than the Up Air 1. So this is the front facing camera. Now the only sad part is that you cannot record with this particular one. It doesn't have the micro SD card slot. So then what I'm going to do is install this little M20 camera that you guys see in the background. I'm going to test it beforehand, and it's going to be installed here on top of the battery, and that's going to be pretty much it. Now to get it paired, as I said before, the left lever must be all the way down and then to the right. You leave it for about 2 seconds and then you slowly test it out. And as you guys can see, it is currently working. So the front side of the drone is going to be where the red lights are located. The back side is where the green is located. I would say that this is a little bit backwards, but again, it still works. And as you guys can tell, the LEDs are very bright. So it's very easy to distinguish, where you're going, even if it is daylight time. So like I said before, guys, all the components on this little drone are replaceable, as you can see, and everything's made of carbon fiber. So in case you crash it or something happens, first of all, you're not going to have as much of a risk that you break it because it's very, very durable. And also comes with some spare blades, as I said before. So if something happens, where you crash it, you can easily fix it. So with this being said, let's go ahead and jump to the park, test this baby out, and see if it's worth it or not. I really hope you guys enjoy it. Alright guys, so there we have it for the testing on this Akaso F250A, and I am quite impressed. The camera recording did okay. There was a little bit of a yellow effect. That's because we don't have a gimbal on here, so that's quite acceptable. Now the FPV camera did excellent. Again, you can only use this so that you can know where you're going. It doesn't record or anything like that, which I wish it could. But other than that, I think it's a very nice, cool little drone that you guys will enjoy quite a bunch, and it gives you that experience that you actually are controlling a drone and it's not a robotic type, where basically it flies by itself. This one is going to provide the true experience of a drone, and that's what I like about it. And that also is very lightweight, is very portable, and quite fast as well. So like always, if you guys do have any questions, you know exactly what to do. Just leave your comment below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. Please like the video if you find it helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next one.